You know what probably happened last time when I was tripping out was I probably clicked record to cloud. That's why I didn't download to the laptop. That's why I was tripping out that we lost the footage when we didn't.
All right. Yeah, it's
Oh,
automatically downloaded
Uh,
manually, I mean.
I gotta pay attention. I was pretty drunk though, so.
So I accepted the okay. So I know you're recording.
Okay.
All right, so we are not sure what episode number this is going to be, but this is going to be Cigar Talk episode, whatever it gets uploaded as, featuring Da Smoke.
Yeah,
You can
Davey.
catch him on Instagram at follow the smoke. Links will be in the description as well as his YouTube channel. So welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome,
yeah,
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. I
I'll make
appreciate
sure I
it.
put the tag up
Thank
there as well. And then I won't forget.
We've been talking about this one for a while, so it's nice to actually be able to get to sit down and do this.
All right.
You've been a very big supporter of our page since day one, and we greatly appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Yes,
it's
sir.
nice to sit down and chop it up a bit with someone that's been there from day one.
Hey, and vice versa. I mean, I think we kind of started this journey about the same time. I think I started late October. I think it was like the week of Big Smoke. When did you get started?
Okay, we got started in May, probably May, I
Oh,
think.
May. Okay. Okay.
April,
Wait,
May, somewhere around there. So it's been like five and a half months.
okay. Okay.
So actually, so we're smoking, or we're not smoking, we're drinking this Toki Suntory Japanese whiskey.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what we're going to be sipping on today.
Okay. Okay. So, I don't have that, but I will be sipping on this Uncle Nearest rye. Make sure I get it
Oh,
in there.
nice.
So it's a good rye. I prefer rye
Okay.
sometimes over bourbon. I don't like the sweetness that bourbon have sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We don't get bourbon anymore here.
Yeah, I can't wait
Yeah,
to hear about it.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because I just got into bourbon as they banned it. So shit happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever it is, it is. And so you got the Arturo Fuente Churchill.
Yes, sir.
So we went to Cigar Chief today, and we got the last three Arturo Fuente Hemingway classics that they had. So that's what we're going to be smoking here.
Okay. Okay. Now, which rapper is that? Is that the? I'm not sure if that's a Cameroon as well.
You know what? I don't know much about this cigar, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay.
It was literally the last three of these that they had in stock, and their
Yeah.
Fuente selection is. So it seems like we're on a Fuente shortage up here in Canada.
Hey, so I just saw on a post for the Cigar Aficionado that Arturo Fuente and their supplier of the Cameroon cigars are parting ways.
Oh shit.
Oh,
And
damn.
so the Cameroon wrappers,
Mhm.
not sure what they're going to do about that. And so honestly, that is why I selected this cigar. When you had mentioned, the option of the Oliva cane, which I have never heard of, and thank you for putting that on my radar. I was like, okay, so let me get something with this Cameroon wrapper because I don't know what's going to happen with them. I think there's going to be a shortage soon, and I know that the Cameroon wrapper is definitely with their Don Carlos
Yeah.
um, for that supplier. But this is also a Cameroon, so I'm pretty sure it's the same supplier. So yeah, it just that was just announced literally a couple days ago. So
Okay.
check that out.
Speaking of that Oliva cane, I picked up the very last one they had in stock as well at Cigar Chief. So I'm interested to try that one out.
Okay. All right. Tell me about this cigar chief. I keep hearing you. Is that like the only place nearby you, or is that your place of preference for cigars?
So something that we learned today is in Canada, they're the only ones that have Privadas and Escobars.
Okay.
Um, it's a preferred location to shop at because you don't pay duties, you don't pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So their prices are relatively cheaper than a brick and mortar store.
Okay.
And you know, they have a lot of options that you can't get at a lot of brick and mortar stores.
Mm-hmm.
They got a strong arm in the game, like big time.
Okay.
And they're great people,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, very helpful.
Yeah.
They got their own barber shop, their own cigar lounge there.
Oh wow.
So
That's
no
awesome.
other cigar shop we've been to down here has a cigar lounge built in. So
Okay. So I see you guys have already lit up. So I've been I watched a couple of your shows, and I know you had a conversation with Eugenio about lighting. And so I've in recent times, because of the wife, I've really become a fan of lighting without puffing. And so I'm actually doing it right now with a cedar strip,
Okay.
and we're outside. So I would like to brag and say I'm pretty good at it because, to be able to do it outside in the elements, it takes a little bit more patience because of the wind. But that's what I'm doing. I'll be right with you, gentlemen, soon.
you see you're lighting with a cedar strip?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Oh, right on.
never seen that before.
Interesting.
So I'm on my second cedar strip right now. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this cigar lit off of this second one. Just waiting to see if there's a cherry.
With that level of patience, I would assume, do you like to barbecue?
Oh man, smoking. I'm a smoker. I like to smoke, and then I also have a grill. You familiar with the smokeless fire pits?
Yep.
Yeah. So there's two brands that's out there. There's a Solo, which I think was first, and then Brio just really came and captured the market during COVID. During COVID, everybody was staying at home and building up their backyards. And so, man, I love it. Yeah. So I like to grill. Oh, so you're lighting. So I grill over open flame, which I
got that impression by the way you light your cigars that you're one of those type of guys.
Yes, sir. I'm a throwback guy. I kind of, a lot of people play with the term or, use the term classic, and it means things to different people. But for me, classic just means kind of like vintage. I like the old school way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's me.
I'm a classic man.
The old school way of life was a lot simpler, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
And more flavorful,
Yes, sir.
Everything's not a rush to take your time,
Yeah.
enjoy things more often.
Yes, sir.
I kind of relate that to like island life because my background is Bajan, Barbados.
Gem of the Caribbean Sea. One nothing with me. I am a Bajan. I'm a Bajan.
And like when you go there, no
Mm-hmm.
one's in a rush to do anything, and people aren't getting mad if you're not in a rush to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It's lit. Cigar didn't hit my mouth at all. I didn't do a dry puff, what some people call a virgin puff.
Hmm.
I didn't puff to combust it. And so nice even puff and burn.
Do you find so what would you say if you were to compare the difference to like puffing on the cigar to get it lit to the way you just lit it? Does it affect the flavors of the cigars?
I think for quality cigars and cigars that have some decent complexity to it, it definitely does. I think everything is definitely subjective for one.
Yeah.
So for me, it does because torch lighter, man. Your cigar is heated up, and I mean you can keep it as far back as possible as you want to. And I enjoyed the lighter, because of the aesthetics, that flame and that combustion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That looks good, but it's really, in my opinion, because I think there's some cigar snobs out there, and I know you guys kind of feel the same way. It's your cigar, your experience, your life,
Mhm.
So, but it kind of makes sense. That's a lot of heat on your
Yeah.
cigar, and so it's a lot of heat. So you're going to miss out on So yeah, you really taste a lot right now. So you're gonna miss out on that taste. And so really, it's the wife. She's gonna be coming out soon. So she watches this show on YouTube out of England. I mean, these very distinct gentlemen. There's two generations, and then there's a moderator. And so they were talking about how to light your cigar and the benefit. And it's, for me, it's the truth. And I haven't gone back. And so honestly, my next lighter, if I do buy another butane lighter, it's gonna be a soft flame.
Yeah.
Because you are overheating your cigar. It's almost like we were talking about meat, right? We're talking about compare it
low and slow.
Yeah, low and slow. I kind of compare it to barbecuing.
Okay.
A lot of people, you get that burnt piece of meat because the flame was, coals were too hot, and they ruined it on the outside, and yeah.
So I got a question for you. Do you think you can tell how somebody likes their meat based on how they like their cigars? Because this guy burns the fuck out of his cigars.
Have you tried a piece of a rib or some of his meat yet?
Hey yo!
No, I've never tried his meat.
No diddy.
Oh, there you go.
Tried my
I don't know how to take that.
Never
I've
tried
never
my
tried his meat.
I don't know how to take that. So we are being blessed.
proper behavior.
Wait, look.
He got
Hold on. So first of all,
We got the queen in the house.
The first thing they ask me is, "Where's your wife?"
That's because we are as one.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yes.
All the videos I see, you guys are together.
Yes.
How are you today? I was going to say this morning.
Welcome.
Welcome to the episode.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good to be here.
How's everything going down in Cali right now for you guys?
It's hot, but it ain't too hot.
Okay.
Nice.
We're starting to get to that chilly part of the season, the hoodie weather.
It's the morning and in the evenings, but during the day, it's been kind of scorching.
Yeah.
I wish it was scorching here still, but no.
This is
We're
my
getting ready
favorite.
for winter.
But winter is coming.
Fall and spring, my favorite, seasons.
Yeah.
So actually, that's the question that you had posed to me about lighting the cigar. Do I taste anything, without using the butane and with lighting without puffing? I was explaining to them that you are the one that introduced that to me. So, what do you think about that?
I'm trying to learn because November will be a year for me, so
Okay.
I want to know what I'm doing instead of just, puffing.
Yeah.
See, we're caught in between where it's what we do is we never claim to be critics in any way, shape, or form. Essentially we just, we talk shit and we feature a cigar, right?
Yeah.
So we still have a lot to learn, but we're also caught in that where social media, you kind of want to put that flair out there a bit. But I'm starting to learn more about lighting properly, and I've applied it, and I have noticed a difference between torching too much and just enough to gradually get it going.
So at first I didn't notice a difference, but now I do see the difference. I do have a hard time doing the notes when I smoke a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then I can taste them, but I definitely can taste the difference when I use a match or the cedar as opposed to the torch. I'm getting ready to buy a soft flame.
See, yeah.
But
Software,
I haven't done that yet, so we'll see.
Okay.
That was a hint for me.
No.
Well, I could see the whole cedar stick. That would be interesting to try that.
You bought these on Amazon, right?
I didn't buy those. You did.
Cedar strips?
I bought the long batches.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, see, we keep it real.
Yeah.
So, they burn fast. They burn much faster than a long match will. So you kind of you kind of want to, definitely be in a controlled environment. Although you just saw that I was able to light it,
Yeah.
outside. Took two, but got it,
After seeing you light that cigar with that, I would like to try your barbecue.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
putting you on the spot there, so the barbecue expectations now from you are way up there.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, you get me outside. If I'm smoking some meat and smoking cigars, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven.
What's your favorite piece of meat to smoke?
Oh man, salmon. Honestly,
Salmon. Yep.
yeah, salmon. Salmon. Chicken.
Yep.
I haven't done the brisket yet, have I?
Yes, you have.
I did. Okay, yeah,
You did
yeah, yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I did one
You did.
brisket, and so because brisket takes
How
forever,
long?
and so I was afraid to do that, and so I did. The wife had to remind me that I did do a brisket, and the chicken, anything. Oh man, a whole chicken. Oh, I do the whole chicken. Sit it on top of a beer can. That's delicious. Yeah.
That's
But
something I've always wanted to try is the beer can chicken, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Maybe my all-time favorite. Lean in just a little bit, babe. Let me just adjust this real quick if you guys don't mind, because this is her show as well. And so, but my favorite thing to do, which I have not done in a couple holiday seasons, is to deep fry a turkey.
I've always wanted to try that deep fried turkey.
Have you ever watched the bloopers of people trying to deep fry turkeys? That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple secrets with that too.
I like your guys' vibe. I like your setup. I like your aura. That's something that I remember you'd had I think Eugenio was your first guest that you had on your IG Live, right? And you sent me the message, asked me, how was it? I was like, I love the vibes.
Yeah.
It's just a chill, relaxed, mellow, complete opposite of what we do.
Not a mellow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It depends how much we drink.
So are you on your second show today, or you have your one more after me?
Second right now, and then we have another one. So
Yeah.
the third after.
Okay.
We're going back to back to back today, and then we're taking a little bit of time off.
Wow.
And then actually, I'll fill you in. We actually have an episode coming up with Matilde Cigars.
Say again?
We have an episode coming up with Enrique from Matilde Cigars.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's we're gonna film that one in October. So once we take a couple weeks off, we come back and reset, and that's gonna be we get to that one in October. So look out for that one. That'll be a good one.
You guys have been very successful at being able to get a spectrum of guests on your show, especially to say that you started so recent, so it's the same with us as well. I look at how many posts, you've done, I've done. I mean, I've only barely did like 600. Now I look at some people, man, they're in the thousands. And, sometimes it's really about your niche, your vibe, and it just goes to say a lot about what you guys have going on, that you're able to get, the spectrum on there that you can. I appreciate you having us on,
Oh, we appreciate it as well. Like we said, you're a day one, and you know what I think it is I think even though like it's through a computer screen or an app or whatever, I think the energies still transfer. So I think that you still attract that positive aura and you attract the like-minded people. And that's something I noticed with the cigar community is there's a lot of like-minded people that are just willing to, okay, I'm going to send you this post and then you share it or whatever the case is. Like there's not a lot of selfishness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then within the cigar community, some people use the word community, some people use culture. So, so maybe I'll say within the cigar culture, there's different communities within the cigar culture,
Yeah.
and it goes to what you're saying about there's different vibes, there's different, people have different, mindsets, and it's good when you kind of are able to connect with those that align with who you are. And
Yeah.
I've been fortunate, like Eugenio, and we just met Eugenio. He started following us and commenting around December. He's like one of the very first ones, and then you guys. And then one thing I've noticed, and then even within, my other walks of life, like my fraternity and things of that nature, when I start to dig deep into the people I have relationships with, I start to notice just this one common denominator, and most of them are not from California. I was raised in Detroit, during those formative years. And so then, like, when I met Eugenio and we started talking, I was like, oh, shit, he's from Chicago. That makes sense. You guys are out there, in Toronto, and, I've been out there several times, from living in Detroit, going on field trips. And, so I really, and people are good. You're going to get various personalities and things, but things are definitely regionally. Cultures are vary. Within the regions within the United States, and so like in my fraternity, I'm like, wow, some of the ones I'm the closest with are the New York brothers, and some brothers from DC and Chicago, and it's just because of the way we were raised, and so I really start to notice that common denominator.
Do you think that's what it comes down to, is like, regardless of where you're geographically located, it's how you were raised?
I think so. I think it boils down to your two things, your life experiences and your core values.
Yeah.
And your goals in life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
About
Oh, she wasn't paying attention.
you said life experiences, you said locations, like geographically. I was listening. So I'm like, which one? What?
Just overall, in terms of relationships.
I think the core values has a lot to do with it. I think experiences have a lot to do with it. As far as being from the East Coast, West Coast, all that, I don't think that has anything to do with it, but I do think culturally, those life experiences have something to do with it.
Yeah.
So elaborate on the culturally experiences.
I think that regardless of where a Black person, African American, or whatever you want to be referenced, is born, somewhere along the way, their family usually came out of the South. So a lot of us, or our family, have that Southern type of
Southern hospitality.
Yes. And I think that Caucasians, that population varies. They're from, all areas. You know what I mean? Like where they started and then where they venture out to. So there's like not one real geographic area for that. And I also think that you can have other races that are raised around African Americans, or African Americans raised around other cultures, where race and geographics have something to do with how they interact and they relate to one another. So you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
100%.
And the reason I asked you to elaborate on that is because I think, so if you've watched some of our podcasts, I guess you could say there's a bit of a mission to get people to just, be people again, and let's just fucking, let's treat each other like people and human beings, and let's get past all this nonsense that's going on in the world. So like and that's something that we were talking with Loretta in our last podcast is I just lost my train of thought. But
Moving on.
I'll come back to that when I remember it. It's been a long day already so far.
do think that in the culture of smoking cigars, regardless of what your race is or your your net worth is, the leaf does bring us together, regardless of what your political belief is, because you're not sitting there really discussing politics, and you're not there to get into an argument about some maybe sports or whatever. But I haven't been to a lot of lounges, but I have been to some, and I have never seen people interact like that. Like I haven't. There may be some MAGA people in the lounge, but they're not like doing MAGA, foundational stuff.
So say in that environment, right? So let's just say you have an extreme left and extreme right in the environment, and for that time being in the lounge, everything's cool, right? Why can't we just carry on that way?
Right.
Because like you say, different experiences and stuff, you don't have to view life the same way as I do, but we should be able to have a conversation, say, well, this is why I view it this way. Okay, this is why I view it this way. And you know what? We're still good to each other. So even though you have a different view, that doesn't mean we got to hate each other.
Right.
Where do you think we went wrong in society with that?
I can't say that, because I think here in America, it has always been that way. Whether it was the Native Americans, the enslaved African Americans, or Africans, because they were not American when they got here.
Yeah.
And then it just continually perpetuated itself just over, it's an ongoing thing. So, and I think along the way, people learned how to interact with each other, yet hide some of their feelings and emotion, things that they were really feeling. And at the same time, I also think that I think that maybe somewhere back here, people who never really even thought about it, but when the opportunity came about, they decided, okay, I'm gonna get on this bandwagon. Some of my favorite people are Black peoples or Hispanics. You know what I mean? But now that it's okay to be like these people over here, I'm gonna join them. So
to me, I think it really kicked off with the whole COVID stuff.
It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China.
It was like you're either here or you're there, and then people just said, I'm on this side, I'm on that side. And then from there, it just blew up to other topics or other ways of life where it's like, I'm like this, how are you? If you're like that, okay, then.
It made it okay to hate.
Yeah. We lost the middle.
Because even within families it was the same thing. Oh, you didn't get your shot? Okay, you can't come over for the family dinner type of thing, where it's like, just because of that, like.
I kind of think it started when Trump came into office the first time. And then,
I think it started but I think two things happened.
Obama.
That's what I was going to say.
When Obama came into office, I think that was like the push for people. And then that's how we got Trump. And plus, no one in America wanted a woman. They still don't want a woman, regardless of how qualified they are in the office.
But she was sitting behind that desk, this massive desk, and she didn't look like a leader to me, I'll be honest. I don't see her negotiating with President Xi of China.
That's one topic I'm not going to touch.
we not
not going to go to that one.
Okay, so I think I was going to say Obama, but I also think, and I know that you've kind of talked about this with a couple of other guests, but I also think that we got, like you said, the middle. I think that we got too politically correct. I think to me, I have a lot of. I'm a shoot from the hip person. I'm transparent. I kind of respect someone that where they come from. And we don't have to get along, but I know what's in my face.
If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. At least I know what I'm getting.
And there was a time when, it was a little harsh, the things we said and stuff, but at least you kind of know where people stood. And and we had things in common. I mean, TV got to be so crazy now.
Yep.
It was like, man, even the comedians was like afraid to say stuff. And
Yeah.
then
They canceled.
yeah, and then there was did you see there was the roast of Tom Brady? And that was the
Oh,
most
yeah.
hilarious. That was the most hilarious thing. It was almost like all the comedians got together and be like, you know what? Forget this. We gonna say some stuff.
Yeah.
To say, and it was funny, man. Whatever happened to Archie? I mean, when you think back on All in the Family, you think back on Sanford and Son.
Elizabeth, I'm coming, honey.
And then you think back on the Jefferson. I mean, man, it was, and we've never changed from that. You know, people still say that stuff in their circles. It's a slippery slope, and so, man, we can go on forever with this one. But I think
And that's the whole purpose of comedy is comedy is supposed to be bold, dark, like
In your face,
make light of the
Anything.
tensions, right? You're meant to laugh and be like, holy shit, I can't believe you just said that, but it's funny,
Yeah.
you know?
That kind of brings us to where we are right now, where this is Stephen Colbert and Kimmel have been canceled, you know, and they're not even going extreme. They're just going to the point where Trump doesn't like it. You know what I mean? So they've been canceled.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have comedians being able to say things that they couldn't say for a while. So
It's one of those things that you know, you guys have you know, freedom of speech, and you either just accept it for what it is, and you may not like what someone says, but they have the freedom of speech. You either censor everybody or censor nobody.
I don't think we are losing freedom of speech at this point.
No, it's true.
Hey, welcome to Canada.
Is it that bad? I mean, so, you know, what's so funny is, like I said, growing up in Detroit, and to be, you know, to me, I knew it was another country. You know, I was young, but to know it's another country. But it's really crazy to know that literally it was another country where literally you can see the country, but it's a whole different world.
Yeah, right across the water.
And rights.
Yeah. Well, Canada back in the 80s and the 90s is not anywhere near what it is today.
Okay. Better
you know, we don't have a 2A, for example, and there's still they're restricting more and more all the firearms that we can own. We don't have concealed carry, nothing like that. So they're really making a society that's going to be heavily surveilled and controlled. That's the way I see it going.
Depending on the government.
Yeah.
Which is what they want, in my opinion.
It's kind of like following the trend of what we've been seeing in movies and on TV shows.
Yeah.
So I think it's already been in the plan, and they're just slowly introducing us to it, so it can become something that we just would accept. You know,
Look at it as normal.
And that's the point, is we all need to realize it doesn't matter left or right. It's all wings of the same bird, and they don't care about none of us.
Right. I agree.
Not one, they don't give a shit about any of us. We're just a number in their game. But they've done a really good job of making everybody hate everybody.
Divide and conquer, right?
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all what politics really is. It's just to keep people from uniting at the end of the day.
So the camera is moving. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a camera person. I was just looking at
No,
it.
that's
Yeah. All of us is looking at it.
yeah.
It's like, let's have a
It
camera.
focuses on whoever's talking or moving.
This technology in this iPad is crazy. We didn't know that.
Well, we need to up our technology game, but we're also like on the mindset that we just want to be so relatable that we want to show that anybody out there can just grab a camera and sit in front of it and film and have good content. And that's why we don't have a studio. That's why we don't have we just want it to be complete raw. Like you go and sit down with your friends in their garage and smoke a cigar in the backyard. That's Cigar Talk.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny because that's what somebody told. Remember Kevin? So this was probably back in February or March. And he was like, what I like about you guys is you guys are just raw. He was like, man, your dogs be fighting in front of you, and and we got ash falling, and we're not talking about cut, and that's when I started using that, that authentic and genuine. And it's funny because you had hit me up and you was like, man, I like what you're doing. You're just relatable, and I think, this camera thing is crazy. So, it's what you just said,
The camera likes your wife.
Yeah, the camera don't like you.
It allows other people to see that you can do it, and it don't have to be perfect.
Exactly.
And to me, I like that. It's nice to, I don't like the word influence or anything like that, but it's nice to be an example, to others, and it's nice to see someone that's kind of done something that you think you may have had some input in, and that's good, and it's no hating to it at all, because I love it, I just love it.
But it's true. If you go on like Instagram, for example, and I've done this myself, you see somebody's photos or you see some videos, you're like, oh, that's a good idea. I might take a little bit of this and put it here and a little bit of that. So we all influence each other to a degree, right?
Somewhere or another.
And it's not biting somebody's style where in other areas, right?
Man, I won't even go there. I forget it. I can't. I recently seen something on IG.
Go there.
You
Just
guys
go
might
there.
have saw
It's
it,
okay,
where,
it's Cigar Talk.
where there was a post about what's original and all this and that, and I'm like, man, things are supposed to be evolved, and then when you think about IG, there's millions of people on Instagram. I have not seen every Instagram post with a cigar. I'm pretty sure you haven't. And, then not saying there's only so many ways you can hold a cigar and smoke it. There's only so many. So, and then Nas has a record, has a song out. I'm going to do I have an idea for some content, but he has a song that's called No Ideas Original.
No ideas original. There's nothing new under the sun.
No ideas original. It's not what you do, but how you do it. And you can have a cake recipe and everybody uses the same ingredients, and that cake may taste different from person to person. Because it's what you put in it. I mean, you may stir a little harder, you may stir a little softer, you may be a little more heavy-handed, but you're all still following the same recipe. And so, man,
it's like music. Look at music across the board of genres. Like they all are samples of this and samples of that, and there's no originality. Like, what is originality? I think originality is your vision.
It's the execution, right?
There you go. It's execution. There's I'm not sure if either of you follow Chi-Town Peaches. Oh man,
not sure, but send me the thing. We'll follow them.
I will. She's phenomenal. She's has a really good following. It's I'm gonna send it to you, but she posts a lot of things about the social media world and the hate, and things of that nature, and it goes with that, and about people watching and criticizing and things, and sometimes some of her posts I'll respond. I'll be like, wow, I need to hear this today, because maybe sometimes I read in between the lines or I read too hard. But my wife always tells me all the time, you know what? It's not always about you,
Exactly.
Everything is
it's not about you, but
I get that feeling.
Yeah,
but everything is about him because he's planning for the bigger picture.
Yeah, right.
Nothing's original, like you said, nothing's original. Nothing's original, but guess what? But you. There's only one you,
how many
so that's
times,
the original thing. And that's what she, like she said that.
You know how many times people have sent messages like there's nobody doing what you guys are doing in Canada? Like, I'm sitting back and looking at it like this was just an idea to like talk some shit and you
Yeah.
know, and we
Mhm.
get messages like nobody is doing what you guys are doing in Canada. I'm like, huh, maybe we got a niche market.
Yeah, people probably
Yeah.
see stuff and just try to copy it, like, oh, this is doing well. Let me try and do exactly what that person is doing so I can do well as well. But it doesn't work like that.
And
Yeah,
the
I
thing is,
think
it's
there's
like the thing is, we're not doing anything special. This is just us on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, we normally talk about off camera, regardless.
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's two factors in what make people, either support you, not support you. And I think it's are you authentic and genuine? And and I also think people can see when someone's motives are and stuff sometimes,
Yep.
Yeah.
And like what you said, you just doing what you do, and we're just doing what we do. I smoke cigars. We were heavily posting our lifestyle that didn't involve cigars. Sometimes it would involve me smoking my cigars.
Hmm.
Um, but we've always, our thing, my wife's thing was we're gonna always date. And now that she's into the cigar world with me, it just evolved to this. But it really doesn't take much thought, when I'm just being who I am, and it makes it create. For one thing, man, at 58, I was 57 when I started this journey, and I told my wife all the time. And I was getting compliments on, where did your creativity come from? I didn't even know I had the creativity that I have, and I've always had an ear for music. And I was telling my wife, I said, I think I missed my calling. If I could go back in life, I really thought it would be something with music, but not as an artist, but more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel that I'm kind of bringing that, to my niche. And so I think, man, as long as you're just being who you are, and you're having fun with what you're doing, and whatever your motive is, if you're kind of transparent about your motive, that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just having fun. That's why I had this saying, man, we just keeping it fun and smoky. And I love supporting people. We love supporting people. I mean, we genuinely supporting people with no
Motive behind it.
no motives behind it. It's not transactional. If it
Yeah.
becomes that way, it becomes that way. But it's just really nice. I just saw today that one of the young cigar people out here in California, Cromartie Cigars, that we've been kind of help support, because awesome cigars, kind of seeing that his cigars are now in a local cigar lounge that we kind of support, and it's really nice when you can kind of help support people and bring them together.
His cigars are at the Hearth on Sinclair in Pittsburgh.
She's doing a commercial, y'all. She's doing a commercial. She's doing a commercial on your board.
Hey, promote all you want.
Promoting and helping, if you want to call it helping, because
Yeah.
I don't think they need help,
Mhm.
but getting the word out, especially
Mhm.
when they're a new company, So someone, you may want to buy some, or
Mhm.
they have two cigars, Habano and Maduro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and they're gonna get two more. So
That's something that we do a lot with is like, even though we're in Toronto, right, we still have affiliations with a lot of different brands in the United States. Number one, I don't know if you guys know, but the United States is our biggest viewership.
Yeah.
Thank you, America. And New York City is our biggest city viewership, not even Toronto.
Oh, cool.
So we have a lot of love, and I think I say this every fucking episode. We got a lot of love for Americans, and I think that's where. So I was driving, I was up on a reserve maybe a month or so ago, and there was some guy with a sticker on his truck that said "F Americans," and I'm like, okay, let's
Said what?
fuck Americans. That's what
Oh.
it said, right?
Mhm.
So, but and that I just look at that and I'm like, that's just such a sad point of view because have you ever experienced traveling in America?
Have you met every single American
You
there
know?
is
Yeah.
to be like, you don't like any of them?
Or
No.
even if it's politically driven, like just because you don't like a certain president or this or that doesn't mean all Americans are. There we go again with generalization, right?
Yep.
And I could tell you, we've gotten way more love from Americans than we have Canadians.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And that's why, we represent a lot for America as well.
Can you guys see me real good? Look, we just got an alert that my battery is low. It's crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
you're
hear
good.
you. Your battery's probably low from all the panning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That camera's working double time.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, that camera.
Yeah,
That's
my
a
wife.
keep.
Yeah, we're switching out the plugs. Just we don't want to get cut off midstream.
It's not dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put you guys on the spot for a second. You
Go
ready
for
for
it.
this one?
Yep.
And this is a question that we want to answer from both of you.
Okay.
And you can decide who goes first.
Okay.
How has smoking cigars together changed your marriage?
We spend way more time together. I mean, we spent all the time together before, but when I wasn't smoking, he'd be out here smoking, and I'd be in the house, and he could be out here for hours, which was fine. But now we're out here together, and I'm out here by myself.
Yeah.
Oh. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I should go in, but no. What's your take? Because he wants to do both.
Yeah. To me, it's not just more time, but it's also more quality time.
Yeah.
We talk more, It's so funny because, man, depending on the day of the week or my mood, I can be extremely extroverted, but I can also be pretty introverted too. And my wife's really good about, oh, you don't have no conversation for me?
But he is an extrovert, whereas I'm more introverted. However, this has made me, I'm coming more out of, who I normally am. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, not sure if you heard that, but yeah, we talk a lot more, and it's not always about cigars, but we actually talk about cigars a lot, honestly. But yeah, it's really brought us together closer. I mean, one of the things that I had a problem with.
Camera's killing me.
The camera really likes you.
It does.
Like, I don't care.
That camera person.
They zoomed in to see what her expression was. So so we traveled a lot. And so
not a lot, but we go a lot.
Yeah. And so for me, I had like two rituals. I would love to get up in the morning and go to the beach and watch the sunrise, and then the same at the end, watch the sunset. And at that time, on those trips, my wife wasn't smoking. And I think one of our recent trips, did we go on the trip after you started smoking cigars?
We have been on trips,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
What you're gonna say.
Yeah. So, but no, we haven't done the beach. Yeah, we did, didn't we? Did we smoke from the beach one time?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I smoke all the time.
yes, you do. Yeah. Yeah. It's just been it's just an added layer of connectedness to us.
How long have you been smoking?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, me? Wow. I've been smoking for about 18 years now. Yeah.
What made you start, pick up your first cigar and be like, yeah, this
wow. So never intrigued by, I've always liked the smell of a cigar. So shout out to my friend Carlos Avila. And so it was my son's kindergarten classmate, ex-wife, dragged me to this birthday party. I'm living in suburban California, up in Sacramento. I'm like, and it was, all you did on the weekends was go to parties, birthday parties, Costco, Home Depot, stuff like that. And this Saturday night, we went to this 5-year-old birthday party. And she's like, at that time I was working for probation. He was working in a jail. So she's like, you guys are going to have a lot in common. So we get there. The dude was cool as hell. I mean, I love this dude to death. And they were smoking cigars, nice Oasis backyard. And he introduced me to the acid cigar. And man, I enjoy it. It wasn't the best cigar for me, but it intrigued me enough. I enjoyed it enough to literally smoke another cigar that night. And he also I think he gave me one or two more cigars, and he didn't have a both of the pack, but he sent me with a little baggie, and some wet paper towel to keep it moist inside.
Yeah.
So I was able to smoke the rest of that week, and I enjoyed it, But that first experience, man, I woke up the next day, my mouth felt like a chimney. I mean, I could just
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time. Yeah, first time. I enjoyed it. I've been smoking ever since. I mean, I think I may have taken a break for about a year or two, and
Why is that? Why is that?
Oh man, similar to another guest. I was in a previous marriage, and I wasn't 100% me, in that relationship, and so I catered to being. I didn't cater to me as I should.
I got you.
Okay.
It's real. Yeah, it's real.
But when we started dating, he was, I don't know.
I was
how
back
long
then.
He was smoking, but he wasn't smoking a lot. So I was under the impression that he had recently started smoking
Okay.
Got you.
for years.
Yeah.
But as time went on, he began smoking more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and now because I smoke, he does smoke even more.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I want to do. So.
Yeah. And then so when I really when I had this uptick, I got separated in 2014. And so when I got separated in 2014, it was therapeutic for me. It allowed that time to reflect. And so 2014 is when the huge uptick was a gradual uptick. And then so I moved, came back to the Bay Area, which is about 2 hours, about an hour and a half away from Sacramento. I got active in my fraternity again, which is something else I had put to the side. And there was a huge number of brothers in my fraternity that smoked cigars, and went to a conference in Detroit. And so it was my first national convention that I had went to in years. And I was like, wow. So that year I turned 50. I went to my first national conference, and it was in Detroit. I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Don't say your first.
No, my first conference in several years. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's why I wasn't your first.
Yeah, my first conference in many years. And
Just making sure you're on point there.
oh man, yeah. And so it was the HERF sessions was just like, oh man, we were on rooftops, we were in the lobbies, we were in the parking lots, and so that continued. And so when we came back, we started, we smoked, at different locations, and then we started having these HERF sessions literally almost every other week at one point, at my place or somebody else's house. And then my wife, we were dating at the time, and
COVID.
At this point, yeah, but actually before we got married, COVID. And so I moved in, and technically, still her house, but her attitude, not her, but my wife's attitude was, if you like it, I love it. And she was like, it's okay to have your brothers over. And where we're smoking right now was literally an extension of the driveway, right? Mm-hmm. And we gradually just started adding things. The fence eventually, it was a white fence that had fell down. We put some plastic up. We still smoking. The brothers could care less because literally, because it's literally about the leaf. All that other foo stuff. It's aesthetics. And I mean, my brothers, they care less when the fence had fell down, and weeds was all over. It was just the true brotherhood, and it was the true moment of the leaf. And we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped since. I haven't stopped since, and then she picked it up. Yeah, and she haven't stopped, y'all.
Did you start smoking because of David, or were you smoking before that?
Well, no, I started because of David.
Mm-hmm.
But when the first time I tried a cigar, I didn't like it.
That was on the cruise, right?
Yep, on the cruise. I liked the experience of the cigar I had on the cruise.
I did too.
But
y'all better bleep that out.
Hey, this is unedited, uncut. So just so you
Yeah,
know.
just so you know.
We all
I'm
grown.
gonna highlight it actually.
Oh, you gave it away.
I tried it a few more times over the years, but last year, and I even like would go to the lounges with him and like, let me just try it again. And it would be a puff and I'd be like, nah. But last year when he went to Big Smoke, I went to a lounge, the Davidoff Lounge in Las Vegas. And what I had been noticing was just in the lounges, everyone is so nice. Everyone talks to you. There are no strangers. They're very giving. They want you to have a good time and a good experience. They introduce you to things, new things. Try this, try that. Have you tried this drink with this? And like I said, I wasn't smoking, but because of that, I did try it, and it was just different. And probably because my mindset was different. You know what I mean? Just from having the experiences with him in the lounges and then being in it by myself, it was a different experience for me.
Okay.
And having that time to myself and having a cigar, my mind just really settled. I got to be in the moment, which changed the whole thought process behind smoking a cigar. Because I don't like smoking cigarettes. I tried that when I was like 16. One of my mom's cigars and went in the closet and I was
disgusting.
They had to zoom in on you.
A cigarette again after that. And I tried like smoking a joint or whatever, and I did it in college, and I was, I did it one time in college, and I had an uncle when I was like 18 let me try one. I was choking on it. But then in college I tried
a joint.
And then in college I tried a blunt, and me and two of my girlfriends, and it was two guys, and we smoked like 4 blunts, like combined, just between the five of us. And when I left, I was so high. I was like, I would never smoke weed again. I would never. And I didn't.
And then she turned me out to weed.
Join us.
I introduced her.
Oh, damn.
And she brought me into
not to weed, to edibles.
Edibles,
I believe we going there.
Okay, I'm not, but that's not my thing. Smoking a joint is not my thing because I have asthma. Which since I've been smoking cigars, I've gotten it under control with, being able to not inhale, but I guess because you're really not inhaling.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect my asthma like it did when I first started.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
We talk too much, don't we, y'all?
That's all good.
We all show.
So, are you a weed smoker?
I like edibles.
Edibles,
I had a friend that used to make his own edibles.
Okay, cool.
And the experience that I had with those was so good that I can see how people get addicted to drugs, because when I started wasn't getting them from him anymore, and I was like buying the ones from, the stores or whatever, it wasn't the same experience. And I was just like trying to chase it. So I could understand. And when I say trying to chase it, I never did, I would try it once, months will go by, because my son works at a dispensary and I have a bad back. So he would like, you need to try this, or well, try this. So every now and then when my back would really, really be hurting, because I don't like taking medicine for it. I'm like, nah, this isn't doing anything for me. But I do get a high, but I don't like being too high. So I may try to do an edible like every other month, or 3 months. I'm not really into it. Whereas like the cigar, it has truly changed me.
Yeah, and I'll say for me, I've always been one that's always, but I have family members that always tell me you should have been, a Republican. I was always trying to be a people pleaser. I was always trying to live the straightforward life, and I always, being a black man, I was always trying to be, man, keeping it real. I was always trying to be the safe black person, and I always was kind of fortunate because I'm not a larger, dark-skinned brother, and just being real,
Yeah.
people judge us on our size, our skin color, and things of that nature. And so with that, I never ever wanted to try weed or anything. And I remember I had an aunt, man, she was smoking weed when she was living with us in Detroit in high school. She was always getting high. And so when I got to be like around 22, 23, I remember her and her my uncle, they were like, we gonna get you high, you gonna smoke some weed. And they were like, look at my square ass nephew. It didn't do anything for me. Didn't do anything. And then, this story. So then back in my
Put it on.
in my 30s, y'all. So I'm working for probation. And I'm leaving I was coming from a drug class. I think it was facilitated by the sheriff's department. I'm riding with my coworker, and he said, "You want to get high?" And I don't know what made me say, "Yeah." But man, it was like training day. This dude gave me something, and I felt it. I felt it immediately. And I it was like an out of body experience, and I related to two movies. I related to Training Day,
My nigga.
and I also related to Smokey and Friday when he was running down the street. I was messed up.
Don't laugh, it ain't funny.
And so then I remember I get home around 4 o'clock, and I slept. I slept for hours. And I told another coworker, and I told him who it was, and he was angry at me. He was like, "I can't believe you did that. It sounded like you had more than weed." So it scared me. But that was the first time I had felt the effects. And I was in my early 30s, and like I said, I had smoked maybe twice with an aunt, didn't feel anything. And then, then I married this woman. And I was a high 10th. I was still high.
He type A.
I was still type A, and I was still I wasn't the smoke at that point just yet. I was coming into myself, and then she was like, "You need to try this," and we did smoke a couple times. We smoked, and I could feel it, and I enjoyed the relaxation. And I think it was around that same time it was becoming legal in California. And so that helped me because, again, I'm always worried about the taboo, worried about
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I had a coworker. I was working in another department, and it was like 5 o'clock. And I think I came home and told you this dude was like in his 70s, a retired military officer, and he literally said it in front of everybody. "Oh man, I can't wait to get home and smoke me a joint." I'm like, "What the heck?" And
It's legal.
It's legal.
Your mind, which because my mind said, "Oh, it's legal now," allowed me to try it because I wasn't interested in trying it until it became legal.
Yeah, it's like having a drink, and so, and that's why I don't mind talking about it because I think there's a lot of people out there like me that try to be what I want them to be, and not be themselves. And so I could definitely feel the benefit of it, and it was really good for me. It helped me sleep. Sometimes I like the feeling. Edibles ain't for everybody because you don't know what the hell is in some things. I've had two very bad experiences.
I thought he was going to bring that up.
I had two very bad experiences.
Oh, bring it up. Let's go.
Well, the first one was my wife's a great baker. She made some great cookies. And so I think this one time I think I had the munchies. And so this one morning.
Oh no.
I remember getting up like 3 or 4 times. And I kept going for these cookies.
Oh no!
I remember around the third time, I was butt naked, eating cookies in the kitchen. Man, I can't believe. But and I was like, and I told my friend, but they said, "Oh, you were stuck," and I literally couldn't move. I remember like just then I think I was in the refrigerator. My stepson was living with us. Didn't Aaron say, "Is David okay?" Did he caught me or something? Was I naked? He saw me. Yes, but he said he saw me, right?
Yeah.
So literally, I was stuck in the refrigerator. But that was a good one. Yeah, but that was. And then I was stuck, and I've heard people say that they've been stuck before. So I was stuck. I was stuck. And then the second time was she mentioned that my stepson works at a dispensary, and he had brought these pills, and we were going to see a comedian. Who was it? Oh man, we're going to see this comedian in San Jose. And literally around this time, my son had gotten into some crazy legal stuff, and I was in a very bad place. And yeah,
because he think everything is about him.
Yeah. Well,
He does.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You got to make sure she keeps bringing that up, eh?
Yeah, but you know what? And because for one, I care about what people think about me and stuff, and so just about 3 years ago, my son got into some legal stuff, and my son has, he's a junior. He's literally my first and last name. And I literally woke up one morning.
But he's not a junior.
He's not a junior, but technically he still has my first and last name. And so this one particular morning, this is all still healing for me. And I also realized that when you heal, other people heal.
Yeah.
And so I woke up this one morning and I got a phone call. I got a heads up. And then from his mother. And then within an hour, were you at home? You was in Texas, huh? No, you was home. And so this is the backstory to what made me, get to this point. And so literally all hell hit the fan, hit the roof of a fan, shit hit the fan, all that stuff. And we're on the news. On the news, y'all.
Shit.
And yeah, it was bad. So I was really depressed. And and that weekend was the concert. My wife was like, "Do you want to go? We're gonna go." And then my stepson had brought some stuff, and he brought these pills. And we driving down, and this one, she says, "Here, take these." So she's reading this thing, and I chew the pills. I think it was 2 of them.
It was one.
It was just one. So I chew it.
Because he can't.
Yeah, my life with anything, even drink.
Been edible.
Yeah.
He'll have a half, and I would have a whole one. So 10 milligrams. He'll have 5, and I'll have 10.
Mm-hmm.
He'll still be stuck on 5 milligrams.
So
he had half of the pill.
So let's feel this. Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's a 10 milligram pill.
First of all, I'm used to gummies and brown. I'm used to this ain't nothing. It was a pill.
Yeah.
The bottom line is within about an hour.
Was it an hour?
It wasn't an hour.
Probably 20, 30
Within
minutes.
about 20 minutes, I'm like, wow, everything, my senses are like on like 200%.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're at the restaurant, and she's like, just eat, keep driving.
Called my son.
Now I was coming back. So we at the restaurant, we eating. And then we go out this restaurant, and it's like, the lights were like, it was like, I felt like psychedelic. I felt like I was George Clinton. And I see what it was going through.
He was so paranoid.
Seriously.
Stressing me out.
Yeah, it was like the sounds, the cars, felt like they was in my head. I'm holding on to her. And she's like yelling at me, stop it, be a man.
Be a man.
Man up. Pump me. And then so we get in the car, and I was like, I can't make it to the show. This is the first time Rainey and Tracy, we told them I was just depressed. So the bottom line is, we thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. So she calls. Now you can tell the story now.
So I called my son, and I'm like,
what the hell did he take?
Mm-hmm.
He says, he told me it was, just marijuana or whatever, a high THC level. I look at the bottle, and it's 25 milligrams for each pill. So he went
Oof.
from 5 milligrams to an additional 20 and was gone.
And mind you, I did not swallow with a fluid. Remember, I told you I chomped it up. I chewed it.
Oh,
Oh shit.
It was instant, man.
So I was just like, I can't handle it. You know, I can't handle you being like this. Just be quiet. Be quiet for the whole ride back to the house, you know. And by the time we got home, he was coming down some, not a lot, but some. So he got past it.
We laugh about that. So yeah, y'all learned something new about the smoke. Y'all just got an exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. And you know what I like about this is that we have this way to pull these stories that people never thought they would tell and put them out there. I love it. I love these stories.
yeah.
And that's honestly what we try to be, because you know, we all have experience in life. We all have, you know, stories. We all have trauma. We all have good times. And honestly, you know, we have a lot of shared things in common. And yeah, I kind of related to people telling testimonials in church. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm not a church person. I am spiritual. You know, I will say what some people say. I have conversations with God. You know. And so to me, I think we do an injustice when we don't be our authentic, genuine selves, and because you kind of help others grow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And for, like I said, the experience that I went through with my son, it was almost like first, you know, the divorce, then, you know, meeting my crush from my coworker crush. We'll talk about that later. Y'all want to But, you know, it was really the best. It was the worst, but also the best thing that could have happened to me. Because, again, there was still parts of me trying to be this perfect person, you know, look at my accomplishments, look at what I have. And then to wake up and people go like, this motherfucker is just as normal as everybody else. He don't have a perfect, you know, and nobody does.
And nobody was thinking that he was perfect. That's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
You know.
But that goes for being a black man. And we'll keep it real. And I kind of learned that from some of my white female coworkers, you know, at work, is that, you know, black men there's just this embedded trauma, you know, of always trying to prove ourselves. And yeah, you know, that's just
do you think it's to prove yourself in a sense that you're not what the generalization is?
Yeah, the stereotype.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
That's true.
Can I interrupt for a second? I wasn't on. I don't know if y'all, you know, introduce yourselves. Who said who you each are, your name. So could you do that for me real quick?
She want to know who the hell she talking to.
Well, I want to say, like the gentleman over to my left. I guess you're right.
The black guy.
But I can tell that he's black. However, the gentleman in the middle, he looks black, but he may not be. I don't know.
He's not black.
He's brown.
He's brown.
I'm darker than most.
We cover the whole spectrum. My name's Curtis, by the way.
On the far right, which would be your left, you appear to be Caucasian. However, you may be something else. You could be black too, because we all black people come in different colors. So
yeah, he's a reverse Oreo.
So I'm gonna make a comment on that one.
Exactly.
She want to know who she's talking to, y'all.
We did a live with Prodigy's sister Loretta. Shout out to Infamous Sis. And somebody made a comment about me, white skin, black soul.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you know. That's because I grew up. So my real name is Shane. That's who I am.
What did you say? What's your name?
Shane.
Okay, Shane. Okay.
So I grew up in Ontario housing, which is the ghetto, right?
Okay.
Call it whatever you want. I guess I just have a relation to certain things in life, right? I'm still white. I'm fucking white as hell. I'm proud to be white, but I just relate to a certain demographic, I guess. And you know, it is what it is. You get what you get, and I am who I am, and I wouldn't change myself for anything in the world.
I would hope not.
No. Yeah. And you can introduce yourself.
My name is Neil. My parents are from Guyana, South America. I'm born Canadian. Like Shane, I grew up in the ghettos, if you want to call it that, Flemington Park. Right? I grew up around hip hop and rap battles, stuff like that. Yeah.
And if you missed it, my name is Curtis.
Curtis?
And I can totally relate to what Dave was saying because, like, I'm 6'6", and I always try to be like not intimidating, even though people are like, I used to work security, and people be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do anything because I'm scared of you," and I'm just like,
Bro.
I haven't done anything to be scary, so it's like just off of the look, they're like saying that to me. I was like, so I try to be like courteous and like presentable, but they still have that generalization, like, oh, you're big and you're black, so like I'm gonna be afraid of you, or I'm gonna see you across the street. So it's like I'm always trying to be like, oh, see someone smile, you know what I mean? But like it's not authentic. So, and I grew up around like Jewish people when I was younger, and then eventually I was like more hanging around like black people and stuff like that. So it's like I have both sides that I can relate to. And just like what now I'm just like whatever. If you're afraid of me, you're afraid of me.
Yeah.
Done anything, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
But that's the generalization on inexperience. That's the way I put it, right? And a lot of people that will generalize is they just don't have experience with different cultures, we'll call it, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people, like I always say, we're in a time where, the Spanish are the drug dealers, the blacks are the thugs, the whites are the racists. I don't know what you are.
I have no idea either.
I don't know what you fall
I'm
into.
Indian. Well, probably technically,
He's a
like,
brown-skinned redneck.
yeah,
He's
pretty much.
whiter than I am.
Just because I like my country music. Like, I'm
It's
sorry, like when I was starting out to be a mechanic, I used to
Mhm.
work with like a lot of country guys, right? And like they play like their country music. You start picking up on traits and I was like, well, I started
You listen
working.
to country music?
Yeah, some of them, not all, some.
You should go in the car and hear what plays when you first
Really?
get in there.
Yeah,
I learned something new today about this guy.
Kenny Rogers, bro. How are you not gonna like
Kenny
Kenny
Rogers.
Rogers?
Do you
Kenny
guys
Rogers
remember? Do you
was
remember
my
Kenny
favorite.
Rogers had chicken?
Oh
He
yeah,
was-
the restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
Kenny Rogers Roasters. Yeah,
Yes, I remember that.
Mm.
he had some good chicken for a bit.
And the thing
Yeah.
is, like in South America too, in Guyana, anyways, country music was actually pretty big,
Yeah,
right?
it's funny, you talk about music because I think we judge each other on, this type of this race is gonna like this type of music, and it's funny when I started to learn more about my queen over here. I mean, she was like into a lot of rock music and a
Yeah,
lot of.
nothing wrong with that.
She had a huge, diverse background that I really come to appreciate. First, I had to learn, then appreciate. But yeah, man, stereotypes in America is crazy. I remember my first experience,
It's not just America.
my first blatant experience with racism. I wouldn't even say racism. I would say stereotypes. Was I was working as a camp counselor. I'm 18 years old from Oakland. I always wanted to be a camp counselor. I'm up in the beautiful Redlands of California, and rap music had just came out, and it was literally the summer of '85.
That didn't just come out.
It hadn't just come out, but it was like becoming really mainstream.
Yeah.
And so somebody started playing Run DMC, and literally, first of all, it was like 25 counselors. Only 3 of us was black, two brothers, myself included, and a sister. She got sent home because the kids say she harassed him. But anyway, this particular weekend, it's the weekend before the campers come. And somebody literally said, turn that shit off. This is a white boy radio, not a nigger radio.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just and I'm there. And all eyes look at me.
For your
And
reaction.
You know what I did? I'm an 18-year-old kid. Grew up in Oakland and Detroit. I did nothing. I said nothing. And I play that moment back a lot in my mind.
Well, I think that was the right thing to do because
Mhm.
of the people you were around. You
Mhm.
were truly the minority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I was shocked.
everything
Mhm.
should not be confrontational. You don't have to take it in every time.
Yeah. But it still shocked me because even as a young black man, at 18, I was still trying to be like you said. I was trying to be the opposite. I was like, I'm the well spoken. I'm not the I'm not the 6 foot dark skinned, you know, buck that everybody's afraid of, and he's, I'm probably more dangerous than you. And and so it blew my mind. And then the second one, I think I told you about this one. So I'm in my early 30s. I'm working in probation. I go to a grocery store, a huge chain in California. I'm wearing my probation shirt. It literally says it was camp. It was a camp shirt. It literally. By my, I look like a professional. Again, I'm only 5'5", you know, and I remember walking past this mother and daughter, and the little girls in the cart, and she says, "Look, mommy, a bad man."
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, this is about 25 years ago. Still, this is, you know, late 90s, California. And again, I'm thinking that all you gotta do is be educated, have a good job, and America's gonna see you as an American. And again, I did nothing. I said nothing. What I'm gonna say to a little girl, but I remember the embarrassment that the mother had. I could see her eyes look at me, because to me, what that told me at that moment was that is what that little girl has been told, is
Yeah.
that all black men was a bad man. She didn't say, "Look, mommy, a black man." She said, "Look, mommy, a bad man." Man, that stuck with me. Here I
That
am
would
working it.
stick. Yeah.
Huh?
That's pretty traumatizing. Like I'm fortunate enough where I didn't really get too much racism and stuff like that. People were surprised what
But
I
we're
listened
we're
to.
in Canada. It's a bit different. It's not the way the
And it's a
United
different
States.
time also,
Yeah.
right? Like I was born in '87. Oh, they're I think must have.
Cut off.
Yeah.
I guess their battery ran out.
That was pretty cool how the camera was like tracking them.
Yeah,
It went too overboard though.
Yeah. She was just zooming in on.
It's almost like the camera had a mind of its own. When he would say something, it would go to
Go
the
to
right.
her, yeah.
It's like not
Watch the eyes.
not interesting.
Yeah, I think their shit died there. Let's see.
That shirt is pretty dope.
We move the crop.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
I was actually watching a video on them there.
Yeah, Marshmallow was funny, man.
Oh yeah.
You know who surprised me? Triple H. I haven't seen him in a minute. I just seen him on interview where he was talking about like healthy foods, and I was like, this is Triple H.
Oh yeah, because it's not the personality, the wrestling personality.
Yeah. But like, I didn't realize he was all about like the healthy eating, like not eating like McDonald's and like stuff like that. Completely opposite to what I thought Triple H would be like.
Yeah, I mean those guys got to be in like proper shape to be doing that.
Yeah.
Night out, you know.
Macho Man was like a cocaine trip.
Hulk Hogan, yeah. You say you don't know where the Macho Man is coming from? You're right. You don't know anything about the Macho Man.
Okay. Can you see us?
Yep.
All right. Can you hear us? All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you can take it from here. I know you guys are gonna edit and everything. Go ahead.
So, I mean, just to go off of what you're saying, like, it's fucking sad that any human being has to go through that type of prejudgment. I think we've all experienced different forms of hate in our lives. Like I was telling a story in the previous podcast, I was doing a job in a certain area, and there was a woman, and I'll just call her a woman. I'm not going to get into skin color and shit, but she was walking down the street screaming out, "White people are the devil, white people are evil." And, hate comes in all form. It doesn't matter what your cultural background is, what your skin color is. Like, hate is hate. And, like, for me, like, you could be confrontational, but I just looked at it as, like, I just felt bad that you're just so uneducated and ignorant to people. Because that's what I think it
Mm-hmm.
boils down to is just a lack of experience, education, and it's just straight up ignorance. And there's no
Yeah.
justification for hating on somebody because they may look a certain way or come from a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
people, there's a misconception out there that, um, nobody else can be racist but white people. Well, that's fucking bullshit. And,
Mm-hmm.
people can hate just because they're haters, period. And you can't lump everybody into a category because this one robbed this, or this one did this, or this one said this. You can't hold
Mm-hmm.
everybody guilty because of one person.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
it's
you're
just
definitely right about that. And
if you look at the progression of, like, the 80s and the 90s, of the trajectory that they wanted civilization to kind of go to this utopia of multiculturalism, how the fuck did we end up back to almost,
Segregation,
you know?
right? Like
mm-hmm.
talking about different types of skin schools and stuff like that. We need to integrate and learn about each other and learn about our traumas, past traumas,
Mm-hmm.
learn about our cultures to move forward, right? It's that whole mentality,
Yeah.
like, divide and conquer. That's what it is.
And a lot of people
Yes.
buy into that
Yeah.
divide and conquer. They believe everything they see on the TV and they hear on the radio, and that's why I don't watch
Mm-hmm.
TV.
Well, I don't think they believe everything, because if they believed everything, then it would be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the majority of the things when you see Black people are not bad, are
Mhm.
not presented bad.
Mm.
It's the few things that society presents that people grab onto.
Yeah.
yep,
I just think that's just like, I think, if you look at videos, for example, if you have one video about somebody that something negative happened to, and then one video about something that was positive, that negative gets 1 million views and that positive gets 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And I think society just
Man.
gravitates towards the negative so much. And, like, why do we as people love the negativity and people failing? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
people grow and become what they want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people,
Yeah.
fail down and out, and like, it just, I don't know, man. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how we got to this point.
Like harping on people when they're down. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Oh man. It's I think well, there's a couple things I want to tap. I heard you when you said that there's a misconception that only white people can be racist, and that is so untrue. And you're right about that, because Black people can be just as racist too. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, I go back to the Jeffersons, the TV show The Jeffersons, where George Jefferson was like whitey all the time. And then you had Fred Sanford, he kept it real about how he felt about Puerto Ricans and stuff. So, racism is across the board. And I think back on the movie Do the Right Thing, it was that one scene. Spike Lee was so creative where he did that one scene where every race said a couple stereotypes that they felt, and we all heard about the different races. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, what was it?
When the Asians said something, about the Black people, and it was like each race said something, and it
Yeah.
was, and I think the right thing was like 89. And then what is that you said, man? Oh, about people loving to beat people when they're down. I think
Yeah,
that goes back to also what I was saying about people being authentic and genuine. I think that people that are insecure and not happy in their lives, it's
yep,
easy to build themselves up by tearing others down.
Yep,
yep.
100%.
And so that's why I I feel so liberated now. And I think that 10 years ago, you wouldn't see that authentic, genuine self that I am now. I definitely always say, don't say authentic and genuine again. You know what? And I use those words because I don't say it for me. I'm saying it to encourage others to be that way because you just don't know how liberated I really feel to be able to share the things I share. And I know that there's other people out there who trying to fit, trying to check all the boxes off,
Yeah.
and trying to fit into what people think they should be. And that's why I say that a lot, babe, is because I'm really speaking not to myself, but to other people. But to just comment on what you said, I think it's just people that are insecure and not happy with themselves, and
Exactly.
again, like I said, you just got to tear other people down to build themselves up.
Mhm.
Exactly. They just don't want to feel like they're at the very bottom.
Yeah.
They want to know that
Mhm.
there's somebody worse off than them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny because I remember there was when people there was something that was discussed about why did reality TV become so popular? In America, I don't know about Canada and other parts of the world, but I know reality TV shows are the most popular TV shows right now.
Yeah.
And I think what someone had analyzed and said is because it makes people feel that their lives are normal and that it's okay because it really does show, and unfortunately it shows celebrities most of the time that there's dysfunction in their lives, and it makes us feel better about our lives, because we all have trauma, we all have good times, we all have bad times, and I kind of agree with that. That's why reality TV show is so popular. For one, it makes us feel better about what's the bullshit that's going on in our lives.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
Yeah.
don't want to do it. Yeah.
It's I talk about this a lot and my first experiences. So my wife is Colombian and
Mm.
my first trip to Colombia was I noticed a big difference in North American ways of life compared to other places. You walk down the street. Let's just say you go walk down the street. How many people say good morning to you,
Mm.
right?
It
So
depends on where you are, where you live.
yeah, um, my first experience there was you walk by everybody and everyone is, buenos dias. And I'm like, you know that person? She's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that's just our culture. We say
Mm-hmm.
good morning, good evening, we're very cordial with each other. And if
Mm-hmm.
you go to Colombia, like
Mm-hmm.
you go up on the coast, you get as dark can be, and then you get as white can be, and every shade in between, but they all look at themselves as Colombians.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get
Yeah.
past all that and just be Americans or just be Canadians or just be whatever, 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 right? Why is there such a
Mm-hmm.
division and separation amongst us as people?
Yeah.
And that's really what opened my
Man,
eyes to
that's
the North American, like I looked at it, I was like, North America's really fucked up.
yeah.
It is.
I agree. I'm a late bloomer. I talked about my wife introducing me to cannabis, and then also, I had never traveled abroad, never
Yeah.
ever, not even Mexico, until me and Miss Queen here got together, and again, I had my North American views about Mexico. I had these images. I had all this about Mexico, and my wife always be like, "I love a Mexican. I love the Mexican culture,
Yeah.
all of this." And we started traveling, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it goes to what you're saying about how friendly everyone is and stuff.
Yep.
And so North America really is. It puts some bad imagery out there. I remember when the DR there was there were a couple cases of some people dying. Remember that at a couple resorts and
Yeah.
stuff
Oh yeah.
during COVID, and they were like overly exposing this.
Yeah.
And someone was saying that it was strategic to get the tourism away from the DR because it's a country of color. And then I remember somebody had said they're not publicizing how many people die of drug overdoses and alcoholism and everything being rolled over by the thugs in Las Vegas or New York,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's like it's even like we went to Barbados. We did a trip to Barbados, and now I'm not talking on resort, just throughout the island. Like
Yeah.
me with somebody with white skin, I never experienced any fucking hate there.
Hmm.
And like so why do we have this prejudgment? And the people in Barbados were nothing but nice to me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, do you think it's a result of the machine?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
I truly believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in um, institutional racism. I believe in all of that.
Yeah.
My wife is definitely a lot more in tune politically than me, but I definitely believe in conspiracy theories and things of that nature. And yeah, man, yeah, it's interesting times we're living in.
Even
And
like
by the way, uh,
no, go ahead.
I see you got the California flag out from when you bought it
Yeah,
from your
yeah, yeah.
All
Genio.
right.
And the American flag. I wanted to acknowledge that. I wanted to acknowledge that. And before we end the show, I'm gonna I've been waiting to put my stickers on my refrigerator just for this show. But yeah, man, I
Oh, you
believe in
got the
all that.
Cigar Talk stickers, that's right.
Oh, come on now. My refrigerator, my goal is to have this refrigerator all the black covered with stickers. So yes,
Hmm.
thank you for sending them to me. But yeah, I believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in the machine. Man, we can go on forever with that.
Yeah.
COVID, what's that, the G6,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
Yeah.
the
We'll save that
G6,
for part two because we're gonna do this again. And you know what?
yeah,
When we
we
do this
definitely, yeah,
again, we should
yeah,
do it when you launch your own podcast and you have us on your
yeah.
podcast.
Definitely.
Well, you know what? When we talk about niches,
Yeah.
so this is like pivoting. So I believe we all have our niche. We all have our passions. And so for me, my podcast will not be anything political or nothing, man. I'm about
It will be organic.
it'd be organic,
So
but
Yeah.
truly, but my and so you guys are getting an exclusive right now.
Mhm.
You're getting an exclusive.
Me too.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
so
you.
I am follow the smoke, and I was strategic with the follow,
Yeah.
and the follow didn't have anything to do with follow me on Instagram for followers. It truly is about follow the smoke for the experiences.
Hmm.
Because for one, where there is smoke, you can't have fire without smoke.
Yeah.
You know, smoke comes before the fire.
Yeah.
And so the follow comes, because of this commitment I made to this queen over here to forever first date. And so we're just about keeping things positive and fun. And so what I envision, because I use the word envision because you have to pivot sometimes, but what I envision is a forum for people to come on and talk about upcoming events where it's about the cigar culture and keeping it fun and smoky. I think there's a place for people to talk about the industry, but I'm not about the politics of the industry. I'm not trying to be an industry mover and shaker. I'm not about messing up my buzz. When I sit down with my
Yeah.
cigar, I want to have a good time and relax. And so I think there's a lot of people out there who just want to relax, who could care less about all the politics in the cigar life. And so, what I envision is a podcast where I'm doing two things. One, I am recapping the previous months, keeping it fun and smoky events, and that can be from cutting lights, festivals, your larger scale events, and then a place to inform people of upcoming
Okay.
events to keep it fun and smoky. So that's where I'm looking at. What do you think about that? What's your you think there's a place for that?
I think that you're creating your own lane and that's genuine to you. And as long as you're being genuine to you, there's a place for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Something I would watch
Yeah.
100%. So yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
I definitely think
Yeah.
you should, if you have it in your heart and your soul, you pursue it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what it's about.
your niche will follow you.
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I
So
can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
yeah. So I'm gonna keep it real. So I was raised by my stepdad. That's my Detroit roots, and so that's all I knew for a long time was this family. And so I was raised under one last name. Boy, y'all getting a bunch of exclusives. So I was raised I was raised under one last name, from as far as I remember up until high school. And so bottom line is my mom married my stepdad when I was an infant, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I was one yet. And so I was raised by this one family, moved to Detroit. I was raised this way. And then when I was around 5, you learn how to write your last name in school. Man, I can't believe I'm going there. Should I go there? Should I stop?
You're already talking.
So I wrote down this name, and my grandmother, I think she had a drink or two, and she's like, "Who was that?" Come getting to where I am. So she said, "Who was that?" And I was like, "That's my name." She said, "No, that ain't your last name. Your last name is this. That's not your daddy. This is your daddy, name." And wow. And so I remember it's like a big old argument and stuff, and moved on. So then when I was like 8 years old, I remember my biological father flew out from Oakland to Detroit and visited me. And I met this man for the first time. And I remember some discussion, and I flew back from Detroit to Oakland and with him, my biological father. And I met some of my biological family, and beautiful family. And that was about it. I stayed in contact, came back home, and then when I turned 14, getting ready to go into high school, my mom decided I should change my name to my biological name because that is who I am, and I'm becoming a man. I have mixed feelings about that. That's different. So bottom line, and then we moved from Detroit to Oakland in January, the second semester of my high school year. So I'm pulled from my stepfather's family who raised me to meet my biological family and everything. And then my sisters are just uprooted from their family altogether. And so I become closer to my biological father's family. Love his family. Love his family. But he and I just don't have that relationship. And I think it's because, I had this relationship with my stepdad, who I called my dad, and I always called my biological father my father. But anyway, genetics is genetics. And he would always, the one thing that stood out the most that he would always tell me is you take life too serious. You need to get the stick out your ass and all that stuff. And he had this, he was just like the life of the party. He had this saying, no fool, no fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared this on a live with Ray and Chevalier. No food, no fun. And then one day he told me, he said, "You know what that means, David?" And I said, "I really don't know." I'm back in my 30s at this time. And he said, "Somebody has to be the fool for everybody else to have some fun." And I got it, And so two things I get from that is, one, he was trying to tell me to loosen up. But then at the same time, it's really who I am. I really am this fun, loving life person. And that is the niche that I've created. It's keeping it fun and smoking.
Well, that niche transfers through the interwebs. You can definitely feel that fun atmosphere, that chill vibe. And that's one thing that attracted me to watching your videos and listening to you talk and stuff like that is just it's just that chill, like mellow, no tension. Just everybody could relate to type of vibe.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
go for it.